Good morning and welcome to yet another segment of Succession 2013, your political talk show where the men and women who want to take over Kenya's government after the 4th of March 2013 get to explain to you their policies, get to explain to you their credentials and why they want to lead the Kenyan populace. Today, with me in the studio for Succession 2013 is one of the two gentlemen who are joining us today for debate on the race for senatorship for Tharaka Nithi County, Mr. Murage Thungutha. Please welcome to the show and introduce yourself to the voters of Tharaka Nithi County and the Kenyan people whose taxes will be paying you when you get the job, if you get the job.
Thank you, Otieno. My name is Murage Thungutha. I hail from Tharaka Nithi County, born there, bred there, and live there. I was educated in the county at primary school, high school, and came to Nairobi University, where I graduated with a bachelor's in commerce. Thereafter, I've worked in many organizations, including BAT. Currently, I'm the CEO, the Gigi Project, and a director with an NGO called Pamoja Action Group.
So what in your training, in your experience, in your work, in your career, do you think has prepared you for this political position you are seeking in Tharaka Nithi County of senator?
Professionally, I'm a marketer, but most of my time I've spent working with the community, where the NGO I work for, mostly we have done what we call empowerment for community, mostly women and children. That makes me feel that I need to get involved more and in a bigger way, this time at the county level, so that I can make a difference in the lives of the people of the county of Tharaka Nithi.
Now, for those who are watching us this morning on this segment of Succession 2013, remember, you can help me interview Murage Thungutha for the position of senator for Tharaka Nithi County by sending in your questions, your criticisms, and your comments to our SMS number 8040, that is SMS to number 8040 or 8040. Also on Twitter at KTN Kenya, or on Facebook, facebook.com/KTN Kenya, or my own handle at Noah Otieno, to help me interview this gentleman for the position of senator for Tharaka Nithi County. Remember, the other gentleman will be joining us in a few minutes. He's called Kindiki Kithure, a lawyer by profession and a law lecturer. He'll also be joining us on this segment of Succession 2013 for the position of senator for Tharaka Nithi County. Back to you, Mr. Murage. What is your understanding of the needs of Tharaka Nithi County and the role that the senator will be doing, will be playing to address these needs of the county?
Thank you. First and foremost, the senatorship mainly will be on registration. And for a county to develop, there got to be good laws that govern the county. And the major role of the Senate is to register it. And looking at Tharaka Nithi, there are many issues that I think have never been addressed over the time. And if we have a senator like me, and I'm sure right now I feel, and I've talked to the people of Tharaka Nithi, they have assured me I have the credentials, I am the best qualified person to lead Tharaka Nithi in the area of the senator. I feel, Bwana Otieno, that we need to protect the people of Tharaka Nithi because they are, in the previous governments, we haven't very, let me say, ish representation, where, for example, Tharaka Nithi, since independence, has not been in the government. If you look at that, is one of the reasons we feel Tharaka Nithi has been sidelined, or we have been forgotten a lot. And this is the time I have taken the initiative to go on and talk and work for people of Tharaka Nithi. Yes.
Why do they think they have been sidelined?
If you looked at the other areas, like I've said, for example, if you look at issues like infrastructure, health, access to education, and many other areas, Tharaka Nithi is quite behind. Let me give you a good example is the education transition. Transition to high school or secondary school, Tharaka Nithi, the prevalence is 10%. So if we have 100 children getting into class 1, those who proceed to class Form 1 are only 10. So where do 90 go? And that's where, Bwana Otieno, I'm feeling that with the proper registration, with the proper leadership, Tharaka Nithi will be, this will be the time for Tharaka Nithi, because I'm sure many other areas we know the prevalence is higher than that. We have many issues or many problems that has led us to get to this problem, because, for example, infrastructure, there are no good equipment for the schools. Also, we have some cultural practices which has led to drop out of school, school children. And that way, we think this is a time to address those issues so that we can have a proper transition. We would want a situation where if 100 children get to class 1, at least 90 of them will finish Form 4. Yes.
You've never been involved in politics in your life, in your career. This is going to be your first entry into politics?
This is my first entry into politics, and I won't say that naturally everybody is a politician, including even my old dad, who is in the village, or any other person, because I have participated in many political forums. I was the big crusade in the recent 2010, when we were really campaigning for the constitution. I was very vocal on that because I believed this is a good constitution for Kenya and people of Tharaka Nithi. And unfortunately, some of the legislators have started mutilating what was meant to be very good constitution. There before, I have not sought any other political office. Yes.
So this is going to be, for you, a debut, so to speak.
Yes.
Why senatorship?
That's where, number one, before I've talked to the people of Tharaka Nithi. I've talked to the people of Tharaka constituency. I've talked to people of Mara constituency and people of Chukai Gambangombe constituency. They have assured me, when they have looked right, left and center, they think and they believe that I will be the person to lead them, because one of the major roles of the Senate is to protect the interest of the county, within and without. So they praise me best to serve them. Yes.
I wanted to ask you this because I told people before this morning that on Monday morning I'll be having the gentlemen who want to be senator for Tharaka Nithi County. And one of the things that came out in the comments, the questions they were giving me for you, was that Tharaka Nithi and the bordering counties of Meru, Embu, Kithure, even Isiolo, there never is a year without conflict, without clashes between the communities that live there. What is the source of this conflict in your understanding?
Thank you, Otieno. In my understanding, the conflict has been there for quite a long time, as long as I can remember. I was in primary school, and mainly there has been on the boundary between the Meru County and the Tharaka Nithi County, and specifically at the area near between Tharaka and Tigania people. I want to say, Otieno, categorically that, human conflict mostly is instigated. And over the time, there seems to be a certain community wanting to take advantage of the other. And that's where I come in, and I've talked to the people of Tharaka. I've assured them I will be on the forefront to protect their interest, to protect their land, to protect their rights, because the boundaries are well defined by the Constitution, and there is no reason why we should have other people wanting to cross over into others or taking advantage of the others. For example, we know there are sections of people who have crossed over and taken up other people's land. The law is there, and we are sure that within no time, when we get to the next government, we will sort out all this matter once and for all. It has been long-standing, and we're sure this is the time to solve this. We don't want lives lost any longer because they are innocent, and they lose their lives when they are defending their rights. Yes.
What is the problem with the land? Because Tharaka Nithi itself is not such a large county. In fact, out of the 47 counties, there are 40 other counties that are much bigger than Tharaka Nithi. The people there are very few. You're only about 363,000 people. So why isn't the land enough? Why the border issues with the neighboring counties and the neighboring communities? Because that is what people don't understand.
It's not the issue of land being enough or not. But now, we are people who live on flats, and they have their livelihood. We are talking about what you've inherited as your ancestral land. And then an incidence of where somebody or community or other leaders feel that they want to own up that belongs to you. Mm-hmm. That's where we are talking about. It's not about how many we are, even if we are one. If you looked at the statistics on population per square kilometer in Tharaka is, I think, about 130 people per square kilometer. That is quite low population. But on the other hand, I want you to know that part of Tharaka Nithi County is semi-arid, so the land is quite not productive. But this is the time we are going to change that, because that land that has not been arable, we want to change it, the equation, so that we can irrigate that land, and it becomes intensively, it can surely be productive. Yeah.
The land, as you say, although it is not 100% arable,
yes,
that those who tell me that in Tharaka Nithi County you have a wealth of natural resources. You have gemstones,
yes,
you have coal and iron ore.
Yes.
What would be the role of the senator in enhancing the harvesting of these natural resources, and how can these resources, in your opinion, be used to make Tharaka Nithi rich?
Thank you. We talked about health. There are many other aspects that we will look at when we get to leadership next year. To answer your question on mining, because gemstones is in mining, I want to say that Tharaka Nithi as a county is very rich in minerals. We have one of the big and major deposits of iron ore in Tharaka Nithi. That is a resource which is not exploited. We know there are a few companies who are sitting on the license, and part of my responsibility will be to ensure that the registration is careful, not to have somebody sitting on a license which is not, which they are not making use of. They sit on them for speculative reasons only, and that's denying the people of Tharaka Nithi the revenue that they would have gotten if that resource or the mineral is exploited. So, like I said again, I will go back to where I said that the major role of the senator is to protect, to registrate the matters of law in the county, and of course this is natural in the natural way. Yes.
So, what in your understanding can be done? Because when the laws come, when the extraction of the minerals begin, of course it will be the big companies taking away the minerals and making millions, possibly billions from them. How would the senator help Tharaka Nithi residents, the small man, so to speak, in Tharaka Nithi County, to benefit directly from these minerals?
Usually when there is mining, there is surely a formula of sharing the resource. That is because minerals are natural resource, and one of way of ensuring that the people, the common person benefit, number one, is to make sure that the exploiting company, the company that's mining, has given a share, because usually even where other minerals are mined, the community, like now Kenya, we know we have discovered oil. We know that the people on that area needs to benefit. So people of Tharaka Nithi, or Tharaka is where there is a iron ore, we want to think that whoever will be given the license to exploit the mineral will have to give the share, or have to give back to the community or the host community. That will be legislated, and even now it is within law for it that you cannot just come and take out everything. And preferably we would want to have local or Kenyan companies exploiting that, because we have the capacity to do that in Kenya. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The people of Tharaka Nithi, in Kenyan history, in Kenyan electoral voting history, they vote faithfully, they vote massively, and they are very loyal to their politicians of the day. Usually there's just a wave of one political party at a time, but somehow they really never get to, as you said earlier, they think they have been marginalized and they never get their fair share of the national cake. Whom do you think is letting the people of Tharaka Nithi down?
That's a tough one, Otieno, because like I said earlier, we have hand and gap in leadership in Tharaka Nithi. We talk about Tharaka Nithi because I don't talk the larger county. If you look at the history of our area, since the multi-party time, we have faithfully voted behind one party or behind one candidate. I'm not shy to talk that we have voted behind the current president since 1992 overwhelmingly. And I can say without fear of contradiction that we have not equitably benefited from what we have given to the president, because I can say that, like I've said earlier, we have not earned a cabinet minister from that region. And without that, we feel that we have not been rewarded accordingly to the support we have given. And even if you looked at the surrounding counties, Embu, Meru, Tharaka Nithi, in that big block, there is only one cabinet minister. That's why I have a good reason to believe, either deliberately or not, that Tharaka Nithi people have been shortchanged. They have not gotten what they have given in terms of support. Yes.
So what would change that? How would you play a role in changing that? Because they would also vote you in.
Yes.
And in another 5 years, they'll be crying about you that, okay, we voted Murage in. We've not seen anything about it. How do you think this is going to change? Not just through your participation as an individual,
yes,
but also through the new system of governance in Tharaka Nithi.
Bwana Otieno, I want to say that time has come for us to have the correct or the good leadership in Tharaka Nithi. I thank people of Tharaka Nithi because they have assured me that they would want to work with me to make a difference. Let me say this, allow me to say this, Bwana Otieno, that I feel I will make a difference. Number one, the constitution has changed. Time is gone where the appointing authority used to reward their cronies with the cabinet positions. Now, it will be on approval, on merit, and many other issues like the regional balance, name it. So I want to say that as a senator, there's no appointment that will come that I feel is not representative of people of Tharaka Nithi, that I can tell you I will shoot it down. I will shoot it down, and I will lobby other senators not to allow that to go through. Because I think time is ripe for the Tharaka Nithi people to have a fair share of the national cake, to have a fair share of the representation. Luckily now also, the cabinet secretaries will no longer be politicians, so I don't aspire that I will be the next minister in whatever capacity, but I feel as a senator I will have enough influence to make sure that Tharaka Nithi people have the representation they deserve.
Now, I warned you before we started that your voters, your people in Tharaka Nithi will be watching, and yes, the Kenyan people, taxpayer, will also be watching, and they will be criticizing, they will be asking you hard questions, yes, and they have already begun. They're up and they're watching you. Yes. There is a lady called Janet from Chuka, yes, who wants to know, she says, let Murage be very specific on each issue he's talking about. How for example, will you deal with, or what role will you play in dealing with the security issues in Tharaka Nithi, the community clashes, conflicts, I mean, the high school dropout, as you said. There's another one from Mutugi, also from Tharaka, says, ask Murage about security between the Meru and the Tharaka people. There's a gentleman here who's not given me his name, but he says, how will Murage address poverty in the area? These are some of the questions that I want you to deal with. There are like already 100 people who are asking you questions. Viewers, as you have seen, you can participate in this interview, this job interview for Murage Thungutha for the position of Senator for Tharaka Nithi County through SMS on the number 8040, or through Twitter at KTN Kenya, or at Noah Otieno, or through Facebook, facebook.com/KTN Kenya. Right now, I want to give you a chance to respond to some of the issues that these people are raising. I've given you the one from Janet and Mutugi. There's Kirimi Muturi here who said, congratulations, let's go and get Tharaka Nithi working. Through unity of purpose and focused non-partisan leadership, we can realize our collective dreams. Somebody's thinking positive.
Thank you.
So be specific, as Janet says. How will you deal with, let's start with the security issue between the Meru and the Tharaka people. What is it people fight over all the time? And why is it impossible to solve this? Because you are a leader. You've been at Vijiji. Yeah. You've been in a successful career. You're a well-trained resident, citizen from Tharaka Nithi County. Yes. So you don't have to be in politics to be a leader.
Yes.
What has been the difficulty in addressing this security problem?
First, let me say that I've been a leader for a long time, and this is a time I felt that I need to be in politics, or I need to be in that seat for me to be able to be heard, or to be heard. Now, answering the question of security, I want to say security is not only between Tharaka and Meru counties. We have internal insecurity in Tharaka Nithi, where we have a bit of local thuggery, insecurity in that we know even the other day we have heard of cases like in Chuka, where there was people who are armed. So that's an insecurity in general. And one thing I want first, before I address the issue between Tharaka and the Meru counties, is I talked about empowerment. The community or people who have means, who are empowered, those people will be secure, because they will have employment, they will have incomes, and they will not mostly go to rob others. So I'm talking about the better and the best way of curbing or dealing with insecurity is first and foremost to empower the community, to empower the people. That's why I talked about we need to make sure that the Tharaka Nithi residents are well educated. They will get jobs in and out of the county, in and out of the country. That way they will have revenue, they will have incomes, they will not have to go and do those bad things. Number two, I talked about other ways of settling them, like for example, infrastructure. We need to improve the infrastructure in Tharaka Nithi. I'm talking about ICT, I'm talking about electricity, the road system, and many other aspects of infrastructure. We need that improved. And I'll be the Senator Tharaka Nithi. I'll make sure that the allocation is well allocated or well spent, because one of the roles of the senator is to ensure is the final authority in revenue allocation to the county. It's me who will make sure that, number two, that will not be enough. As a senator, I will make sure, because of my international connections with the NGOs and the other governments, I'll make sure that I will be able to partner with those other agencies internationally, so that Tharaka Nithi will have extra revenue, extra income to assist the people of Tharaka Nithi. Now, going back to the question of Janet and I think Mutud, I said again that there has been historical injustice. That's a common term in Kenya today. But Tharaka Nithi and the Meru people, I can assure you that we need this matter settled once and for all. We know where the boundary between the Tharaka and the Meru is. It's not in dispute. The only issue is one community wants to cross over and take advantage of Tharaka. And that's why we are talking about protecting the people of Tharaka from not losing their land. We want them to feel safe. And now we know there is the security agencies who have not been able to solve this before. And that will be not the best way to do it. Number one, we need to look for a peaceful way of looking at it, without which we know even when you have a gun, sometimes you may not change the mind and thinking of somebody. So that's the approach we think as leaders we are going to start. The elders, like it worked for some time, and finally it collapsed. We think we should give it a shot again, so that the people of Meru County, the people of Tharaka, they'll have a more harmonious way of living.
Yeah, you spoke about the youth, and a young man who's been watching you is called Gabira Murage, says he's 23 years old, from Marimanti Ward.
Yes.
He wants to know, he's a young man, and he wants to know, what is your agenda? Because you are going to be in the leadership that is going to decide the fate of that county as a senator. What is your own agenda for the youth who are jobless? What do you think can be done for them?
That is good. The youth from Marimanti, I can assure you that all the youth in the county, I can tell you that I have an agenda as a senator for you. Number one, we know youth are the most disadvantaged lot. They have just been to school. As parents, we have invested a lot, and they have the qualifications that they need to get employment. There is nothing. One, I would like to talk about job creation, because Tharaka Nithi is full of opportunities. Predominantly, Tharaka Nithi is an agricultural area, and so is the country. I will want to think about the products that are in Tharaka Nithi. For example, in agriculture, we have maize, we have in Tharaka, we have millet, we have sorghum. In other areas, we have bananas. Let's name it. If we add value to these products before they leave the county, if we can process them in those cottage industries, they will create opportunities for employment for our youth. And that's why, Otieno, I think Tharaka Nithi youth have the chance, and I can assure you, when you give us leadership, Tharaka Nithi people, we are going to make sure that youth in Tharaka Nithi, those who are qualified, those who have been to school well, anybody from high school all the way is going to get a job. So I'm saying that job or unemployment will be major when we come to addressing the issues. I cannot work alone. We'll be able to work with the governor that the people of Tharaka Nithi will choose. We'll be able to work with other leaders to achieve this, because we know youth is the tomorrow that we are talking about. Thank you.
There is a young person here called Majau from Mukodhima, Tharaka.
Yes.
This person wants you to keep going. Says, thanks mheshimiwa kwa kujitokeza. Wengine ni watu tu na they are very self-centered. Usitishwe na mtu eti umetoka wapi ama wapi. Come out strongly and you have my vote. I want you to expound this. In fact, let me twist this around, because this person seems to imply that your background might be used against you by those you're competing against. Can you explain a bit about this? What is your background, and why do viewers or the voters in Tharaka Nithi think that this might be used against you, or that your competitors might use this to, put you down?
Mr. Otieno, I think you can come up again, because I'm not sure.
This person says,
yeah,
usitishwe na mtu eti umetoka wapi ama wapi.
Okay, thank you. Now I get it right.
That is
now, I want to say, Bwana Otieno, like, you are not a visitor in this country. We know leadership has been given or dished according to aspects like where you come from, ethnicity, and all that. I want to say that Tharaka Nithi is diverse in the way of dialects. We have people in 3 blocks or in 2 blocks, and there is Nithi and there is Tharaka, as the name suggests, of the county. And I thank you for the viewer, because when I've talked to people of Tharaka, they have been very supportive. When I talk to people of Mara constituency, they have told me, Thungutha, go for it. Chuka, Igambangombe constituency, they have really assured me that I'm the acceptable leader across board. Bwana Otieno, let me say this, that previously, we know sometimes people of Tharaka Nithi have looked at each other with a bit of suspicion. And I can assure the people of Tharaka Nithi that I will not be partisan. I will be able to serve the people of Tharaka Nithi across board. I will not talk about this is Mwimbi, this is Chuka, this is Igambangombe, this is Tharaka. I'm a fair leader who I think, having talked to them having assured me that I'm going to serve them equally, so that we can achieve the dream of prosperous Tharaka Nithi.
Just before we go into a break, I would like you to hear some of the things that your people are saying about you, about Tharaka Nithi, about the show. There's Mutemi from Chuka, who says, Tharaka Nithi County has been blacklisted as one of the counties likely to encounter violence during and after the elections in 2013. What are you doing to unite the various communities, especially Chuka and Tharaka? We'll come back and I'll give you a chance to respond to that. There's Murage, a concerned doctor who, okay, I'm sure this is not your namesake, but he's a concerned doctor. He says, Murage, comment on the health sector in the county and what plans you have to improve it. When you come back, I'll give you a chance to deal with that. There is another person here called Elosi from Mombasa. It says, what will you do to see that the CDF money is distributed evenly for the county? This is because I've been in college for 2 years, and every time I look for help, I was turned down, and now I'm missing my exams. You'll have to tell this person what plans you have for them. Ladies and gentlemen, viewers, thank you for being with me on this show, this segment of Succesion 2013. Today, we are interviewing, as I said earlier, 2 gentlemen who want to be senator for Tharaka Nithi County. The other gentleman, Mr. Kindiki Kithure, is on his way here and will be with us for the second segment of this show. Please don't go away. Come back after the break. I'm Noah Otieno. We are interviewing one of the gentlemen who want to be senator for Tharaka Nithi County. Unfortunately, the other guest, Kindiki Kithure, has been held up in traffic, but he is on his way here and will be joining us when he eventually arrives. Like I said, our other guest, Mr. Kindiki Kithure, a lawyer by profession, had confirmed to be on this show, but he is held up in traffic. He's on his way here, and when he gets here, he will be joining us on this show where we are interviewing the men who want to be senator for Tharaka Nithi County. Mr. Murage, before we went to the break, there was a very critical question from somebody who wanted to know how you, as the senator, would ensure that the CDF money is used for the purpose that was intended and helps those who really need the CDF assistance.
Thank you again, Wana Otieno. People, the viewers of Tharaka Nithi, the nation at large, they know for sure qualities of leadership. I'm sorry that you have to go on air and talk about another one who is meant to be here and is not there. That tells you, if you give people responsibilities, how they are likely to perform. Now, if going back to LC in Mombasa, I would like to tell LC that with the new constitution, there will be no CDF. And the only kitty that will be available is the allocation, the county allocation that will be under the governorship. And I want to tell LC that, and other viewers, that one major role of a senator is to protect the interests of the counties and allocate the revenue. The other one is to allocate the revenue. And not only allocating, to ensure that is used for the intended purpose. So LC, if there will be money for education or for bursary, I can assure LC and other viewers that I will ensure that it goes to the people who are needy, or those who need, or where it's supposed to go. So thank you. I sympathize with LC that she did not get money when there was CDF. There is the last bunch of CDF, which is supposed to be, I think, dispersed now, or a month or so before the December, maybe this month now. So I can ask her to follow up with the MP. Probably she'll get a share. Thank you.
There is Susan from Mideru.
Yes.
She asks, what plans do you have for orphans? Because I am an orphan and we are straining to get education.
Otieno, there were two other questions. Do you mind?
Oh, yes, there's one from a doctor.
Yes, there is, before we get to Susan at Mideru, Dr. Murage is concerned about the delivery of health system in Tharaka Nithi County. I agree with my namesake, Dr. Murage. For the viewers, we are not related with Dr. Murage, and I'm happy that he's concerned about the health issues in Tharaka Nithi. I can say that the Tharaka Nithi health system is pathetic. Pathetic in that there is no confidence, for example, in the government health system. Rarely would people or residents of Tharaka Nithi go to a government system because the facilities are ill-equipped, the personnel, and even accessibility and many other things. So I want to assure Dr. Murage that the moment they are going to give us the position to lead, I'm sure we are going to make sure part of the role of a senator is to make sure the people of Tharaka Nithi are protected nationally and at the county level. So I agree with Dr. Murage that the health sector, if you looked at the mortality rate, the issue of the malaria and any other disease is so prevalent there. If you looked at other aspects like, anyway, let me talk about general health delivery, health care is bad. People have no confidence, if there is very true, in the government health system. And you can tell because of the incomes, we are not able to go to private health care. So it's the responsibility of the government to give health care or to provide health care to the citizens.
What, in your opinion, can be done to address this, to bring back the confidence to the public health system?
One, I want to believe that it is not because there are no, there's no money to run the hospitals. What is lacking most is the goodwill. Because when you come to the government health hospitals, sometimes the personnel is there, but there are no drugs. And sometimes the drugs even expire in those stores. We have seen many times drugs being disposed. I won't talk about pure management system. That's what is lacking. And when that is, you ensure that is done, I am sure we can deliver the health care to the residents. And also information is lacking. If you looked at even vaccination rate in Tharaka Nithi, is 44%. So if you look at the Kenya Demographic Health Survey, is 44%, meaning 66% of children or residents have not gotten all vaccination. That is risky for the people of Tharaka Nithi or nationally because of those diseases out there. So I think if the management is proper, if there is goodwill from the government, it works.
Mm-hmm. There was a question from
Motemi from Chuka.
Yes.
Thank you. He says that Tharaka Nithi is blacklisted. I don't think the word is correct, blacklist. It was only that the National Integration Commission and Dr. Mzalendo Kibuja just felt that there are counties where there could be animosity during the forthcoming elections, and Tharaka Nithi happens to be part of it because of the selfish interest of leaders in Tharaka Nithi. I am proud to say that I want to say that with confidence, selfish, because some part of leadership wants Tharaka people to be divided. They want to tell people of Mwembi they are different from people of Chuka, they are different from people of Tharaka. I can tell you, Bwana Otieno, those are the leadership we want to get rid of in Tharaka Nithi, because we have under leadership even before, as we talk now, and we have not seen them at the forefront out there to unite the people of Tharaka Nithi. I'm the uniting force in Tharaka Nithi, because I would not want to look at people of Chuka thinking that they are any better, any superior. I want people of Tharaka Nithi as a whole to feel that they are part of the county, that they have something to contribute. So, Bwana Motemi in Chuka, I can assure you, we have done quite a number of initiatives as elders to make sure that there will be no animosity. I can dispel this early enough. There will be no fight between Tharaka, Mwembi, Chuka, Igamba-Ng'ombe, and I'm sure we are going to vote for leadership that will be good, that will be useful, that will be able to assist the people of Tharaka Nithi get to the next level. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Then there was Susan from Midheru who wanted to know what you have for offer.
Okay, Susan from Midheru, thank you. I mentioned that I'm a CEO of Vijiji Projects. This is a national NGO that is dealing mainly with the empowerment of women and children. We run quite a number of programs with children and mainly orphans. We have previously petitioned the government to include the orphans in Tharaka Nithi into the cash transfer program. And successfully, we have over about 700 families who have orphans or who play host to orphans and they benefit from that government policy, where they give support. Right now is 3,000 shillings for 2 months for every household that has one orphan. And it is a national program, and Tharaka Nithi happens to be one of the major beneficiaries because we petitioned the former Minister for Children and Gender, and we are included. We have mostly in Tharaka, Mara in Miveru ward, we have in Chuka, we have in Mogwe ward. Actually in Chuka we have only in Mogwe ward and Karingani, if I'm not wrong. So we have done a lot to make sure to mitigate the issue of orphans. Now, Susan at Miveru, I don't know the level of education she's in because this program captures only orphans who are at primary level. And we anticipate next year we shall go to the next level of the high school. So that's where Susan may benefit. And Wanaotieno, if you don't mind, I would request Susan to get in touch with me because we work with many organizations who have support for orphans. Yes.
So how do people access these things? Because some of them, and I've heard this on previous shows.
Yes.
They hear them here on Kithure, but they never know back in the villages who to go to, where to get the information, where to get the help. So where do they begin? Those who are living with orphans, those who are orphans themselves.
Yes.
Where do they begin?
Number one, there is this program. In every district, there is a children's officer. There is one in Marimanti, there is one in Chuka, who takes care of both Chuka and Mara district. And those are the ones who are entrusted with assessing the need of orphans or those who are host to orphans. There is usually a criteria of qualification that is followed. There must be there are a number of things that are looked at for you to qualify. You could be an orphan, but the people around you are able to support you. So you must to prove your case beyond doubt that surely this orphan is not able to get through the school system. That cash transfer is limited fund because I think the government gives right now, including the donor money, is close to $1 billion shillings nationally, and that is a limited fund, considering the number of orphans we have in Kenya.
There is a gentleman called Mutiria Kamwatu. He says, Bwana Murage, what explanation can you give as a leader for a tarmac road to come to Shiakariga and fail to connect to Marimanti, the district headquarters, a few kilometers away?
Mutiria, that is good that you are concerned that the tarmac is not getting from Shiakariga to Marimanti. Like I said again, infrastructure will be our core or priority when we get to leadership next year. Me as a senator, I said like we shall have funds allocated to all those aspects of the economy, of infrastructure and all that. And the road to Marimanti, I know it is classified. I can authoritatively talk about that, but I cannot assure Muteria that there is funds right now in this financial year. And I can assure Muteria that I will do my best to work with the government, other arms of the government, that it gets allocation, because Marimanti is the headquarter of Tharaka, and without a connection in terms of road, all the times I go to Marimanti. Last time I was there is just the other day. It rained heavily. Thank God I have a 4x4. What about that Mwananchi who cannot access the place? I agree with Muteria, it is pathetic, and we need that road tarmacked. And I can assure him that I will do all what is possible to make sure that is allocated money, and many other roads that are impassable in the county. In actual sense, that Shiakariga tarmac and the other one of across Chuka, Mwembe, that's the only tarmac there is in Tharaka Nithi. And this street that was given in 1991, thereabout. Actually, I can say within the district, we don't have a municipal road that is tarmacked. That tells you the kind of leadership that we have had previously.
Your voters, the Kenyan viewers, have lots of questions for you. Another one here from Nyambura, from Tharaka. She says, Murage, you know that Tharaka is the most fertile land, only that rains are never enough, and the little they harvest is lost in poor market prices. What will you do as a leader? Or what do you think can be done about water for irrigation to secure people's products from market fraud?
Nyambura, that is a concern for many residents, and that is a song that has been there. Like when I tell you said that many leaders have come to the studio or any other forum to say that they will do, they will do, they will do. Nyambura and other viewers in Tharaka Nithi County, I can assure you that this will be my pet value addition to the products we have. In another forum I talked and I told people of Tharaka, why should you sell a kilogram of sorghum for only 60 shillings? And you walk to the next supermarket in the next town and you buy the same kilo of sorghum flour at like 90 shillings or 120 shillings. What is the logic? Why can't we have a meal in the Tharaka that is adding value to that sorghum or that maize, so that we don't sell raw products, we give value to it, and that's benefiting the farmer through organizations and cooperatives. The other thing she talks about is the issue of minimal or marginal rainfall. I can tell Nyambura that and other viewers in Tharaka that we don't require a lot of rain. We have hand of other economies. Israel is an example, and it stands out in the world as the major example. That is a desert, and in that desert it exports agricultural produce, including fruits. We can irrigate Tharaka. We can irrigate Tharaka not through the pipes the way we have been traditionally doing it, through drip irrigation, through greenhouse drip irrigation. So that is the way that we are going to go now, so that we don't have to depend on rainfall that is not reliable, that is marginal in terms of we cannot tell what to rain. But when it comes to drip irrigation, we have 13 rivers in Tharaka Nithi County. 1, 2, 3, up to 13. And all that water goes to the Indian Ocean untapped. That's why we think Tharaka Nithi, if we allocate the resources well, and we have proper and acceptable modern methods of agriculture, Tharaka Nithi will export food not only to other counties but to other countries.
Another lady called Kanana says, talking about youth jobs. Okay, Kanana is from Kidino. Yes. She says, talking about youth jobs, why have you talked about only those who are from the university and colleges? What about Form 4 and Standard 8 leavers? Are they not youth? And what would be done for those who are idling around in Tharaka Nithi?
Kanana from Kidino, that is good. I want to assure Kanana that Thungutha Murage as a senator will not be discriminative against people of class 8 or Form 1 and all that. I want to clarify that I meant that at all levels, youth will have a chance. Number one, I want to say that we want to ensure as a county that the transition from primary to high school is 100%, if not 90%, if not 100%. What I meant is that somebody who is class 8, sometimes the skills are not enough. So we want to encourage the people of Tharaka Nithi to get to at least the level of Form 4, at least the level of tertiary institution, at least the level of university, so that they can get better jobs. Right now, what I talked about, creation of employment, we are not discriminated, because even the people of class 8 still do something in the society, but we don't want to encourage that you get a job at class 8. We want you to go to another level. We have institutions in Tharaka Nithi, lucky enough, we have 2 universities in the county. We are one, it's a rare one that there are very few universities in Kenya. So Tharaka Nithi is happy and lucky to have 2 universities. Chuka University, a government institution, and the Presbyterian University. If we make use of that, and probably develop, I encourage other universities to come up and set a base in Tharaka Nithi so that the people of Tharaka Nithi get education. We are also coming up with other tertiary institutions. Like now, we are starting National Technical Institute at Chuka Kanwa. It is at an advanced stage for registration, and we have everything almost going, set to go. So we are encouraging education through all levels. We don't discriminate that you got to be a graduate, university graduate, to get a job, or primary or whatever level. But we want people of Tharaka Nithi to be learning, to be educated, so that we can export even the talent, even the professionalism outside the county and outside the country.
There is a very personal question here.
Yes.
From somebody called Kagwiria. I don't know how well this person knows you. Kagwiria says, I think from your background in VGG and everything else, Kagwiria says that charity begins at home. And I'd like to ask you what you've done for your own family before you can go out and enrich others in Tharaka Nithi.
Yes.
Are you satisfied that you've done enough for your own family, that now you want to adopt a larger family of the Tharaka Nithi people? Yes,
Kagwiria, I think, I don't think that is personal, because I agree with Kagwiria that charity begins at home. If you don't come from a home where you are successful, I don't think you have any audacity or authority to talk about wanting to go to work with the rest of the outside. So Kagwiria, I'm satisfied that I've done enough and good for my family, and I will continue even to do more, because in life you cannot ever say that that's the end or that's enough. I'll continue, because I think I'm proud of my family. Yes.
There is a very interesting question. I think this is the first of its kind I'm seeing this morning, though I had expected it earlier and I thought more people would talk about it.
Yes.
There's somebody called Mbaye from Mudambi.
Yes.
This person says, how will you deal with the issue? I think not just you, but this person means those who want to be in leadership in Tharaka Nithi County. How will you deal with the issue of female genital mutilation in Tharaka part of the county? What do you think can be done? Or is it an issue, in your opinion?
I want to say that FGM in Tharaka, and let me say Tharaka Nithi County, because I can assure you we have elements, even other areas other than Tharaka, who practice the same. I want to be quoted that, to me, FGM is a retrogressive practice culturally. Number one, I want to say that I'm a children's officer in my own right, because I work for an NGO that advocates for the rights of children. And when you look at the Children's Act 2001, FGM is outlawed. So anybody who practices that is contravening the law of the land. It has been difficult to stamp it out. We have done a lot of effort, and we shall continue to do. And when you give us power in way of giving us positions, we shall do more. Like, we have been able to support organizations, NGOs, churches who advocate for alternative light or elimination of FGM. The other day we were at Igambangombe division, where the whole division, the church had organized an alternative rite of passage for the young girls, where 355 children graduated from alternative rite of passage. That's one, but I have many other examples where I've been able to support this.
Do you think it's workable? I mean, because what we are calling FGM, some have argued that it's culture, and you can't change you can't force or legislate against a people's way of life. Do you think the people there are embracing alternative rites of passage? Is it a workable solution? And how many years do you think it will take to have this effectively address the issue of the mutilation, the female genital mutilation?
Bwana Otieno, I think and I agree that it is workable. It has worked in other areas. I also want to disagree with you that it's not a way of life. It's a culture practice, and which can be eliminated. Number one, we know there has been other practices that we have dealt with in Africa. Like most communities in Africa, as it that if you give birth to twins, that is a curse, and they need to be done away with or killed. You know for sure it's not practiced in Kenya, and it was a culture. So many readers, previously and current, have been like shy to talk about FGM, especially in Tharaka, because they fear losing the support of the people at the ground. The approach, like I've given you an example at Igambangombe, where we are encouraging groups, organizations, churches, and other forums to give alternative way for them to feel that they are grown-ups. Like I told you, where we are 365 girls graduating from Igambangombe through a church, so that they feel now they don't have to go through the FGM. So I will be a crusader. I have been, and I will continue as a leader to make sure that the practice is eliminated, if not minimized. Yes.
Viewers, as I promised you, my other guest, Mr. Kindiki Kithure, has just arrived, and we'll have to go into a very short break so that we can come back and have some of your questions addressed by Mr. Kindiki Kithure, because this gentleman, Murage Thungutha, has attempted to answer most of your questions, but I would like his competitor in the race for senatorship in Tharaka Nithi County to also join him in dealing with some of the issues that you're sending in today through the number 8040, through Twitter at KTN Kenya, through Facebook, facebook.com/KTN Kenya, and also to my personal account at Noah Otieno. This is Succesion 2013. Please stay with us. We are going into a short break, but we'll be right back with another gentleman joining us on this segment of Succession 2013.
So we are targeting to raise for this county through our massive international network, because as an international lawyer, I have made a lot of networks outside there. I want to be the ambassador of that county and leverage resources, and we are targeting, together with the governor, to be able, and the MPs will be elected and county assembly members. We'll do delegations and go out there, twin our county with other counties in developed countries, so that we can attract not less than 20 billion shillings annually through grants, loans, and even investment promotion. And I believe I'm the right candidate who can deliver on that for the reasons which I've stated.
And talking about the Senate, we were discussing with your rival, Mr. Murage Thungutha.
So competitor, I think rival is a very strong word, especially when we are in Kenya, when the country is so divided. I think the right term should be competitor.
Okay, your competitor, Mr. Murage Thungutha, was telling me that part of your duties, even before you get elected to the Senate, is to help the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission educate Kenyans on exactly what a senator will do and what a governor will do. Some people are confused, and even some aspirants themselves don't understand what they are going in for. What is it that as a senator you're going to do that is different from what the governor will be doing?
Thank you very much. Very many people who are eyeing for positions have no idea, especially under the new constitution, what those positions are about. And the most misunderstood position, one of the most misunderstood position, is the position of senator. To some, it is a retirement home where people whose careers have failed can go and revive those careers afresh. To others, they think it's a prestigious position where you go and perhaps travel in motorcades and chase cars, etc. The role of the Senate, and we are doing it already, we are empowering people, we are teaching our people and promoting civic education to inform people that they should look at Article 96 of the Constitution as read together with Article 188. Number one, the senator represents the interest of the county and the national government. Number two, the senator, as a lawmaker, ensures that all laws that and legislation that deals with county government are favorable generally to Kenya, but also to the interest of the county. And I'm saying this, for example, if you come from a county which has minerals or agricultural production, you want to ensure that laws that relate to agriculture and mining are done in such a way that the local people benefit. So the senator is a lawmaker. The senator is the representative of his county in the national government. The senator also will exercise oversight, and that is a role that has not been talked much about. They have oversight roles of all the finances that are allocated to counties through either national government or other programs. And so the senator is not an idler, as some people think. In fact, it's one of the most busy offices that we are going to have. And it is also not true, again, just to answer what you asked me, it is not true that the governor will have a free hand in doing whatever they want with those resources that will be allocated. The senator is like the prefect to ensure that there is good governance, that he exposes any attempts to subvert the programs which have been set out, because the governor, through the county assembly, will have to approve those development programs. So in short, the governor is a lawmaker. The governor exercises oversight over revenue. The governor is the one who will lead for the search of that revenue, both locally and internationally, because revenues will be allocated through the Senate to the counties. But also the senator can gang up with his team and go abroad and look for resources, etc., etc. So Article 96, and finally, maybe this is good for Kenya, because our country is experiencing very serious strains, especially on the issue of boundaries. You saw what happened after the IEBC gazetted the boundaries. Under Article 188, all issues to do with county-to-county boundaries will be handled with finality by the Senate. So those areas which have similar problems or problems associated with boundaries, they better elect a senator who will not be a warlord, who will represent a county while at the same time promoting national cohesion and unity.
Your competitor, Mr. Murage, has been fielding a lot of questions from viewers who woke up very early in Tharaka Nithi today.
I see.
To interrogate the policies you people have, the plans you have for the people of Tharaka Nithi County. And one question that has kept coming is like this one from Sabina Madhumbi from Mukunda. He says, gentlemen, mtawasaidiaje watu wa Njoguni, I hope that is in Tharaka Nithi, ambao wako na zaidi ya miaka 10 tangu wafukuzwe kwa mashamba yao na hayo mashamba yamechukuliwa.
Thank you very much. I'm aware about that issue. In 1996, December particularly, there was a serious inter-clan rivalry in Meru, around that area, between people of Egembe, people of Tharaka, which was politically instigated by politicians who were very powerful in the government of that time. Many people died. Many people were displaced. Nearly 20 years later, those people remain displaced. The dead, those who lost their relatives, remain uncompensated. And in the discourses about IDPs in this country, you rarely hear of IDPs in Meru. So we have a concrete plan to address that thing with finality. We had hoped that the Truth, Justice and Reconciliation Commission would have helped us. But I'm afraid this commission has let down Kenyans because they have done a shoddy job. They went there to look for salaries. They kept, even now I'm shocked, they're even asking for more time to do nothing. And I think that commission should be surcharged for the salaries that they've been earning for the last 2 years. We thought the TGRC would have helped the IDPs generally in Kenya, but even in those areas which had been forgotten. We have a concrete plan. Recently, we are aware that the Parliamentary Select Committee on IDPs recommended some action on those particular IDPs in Meru. So we are hoping that we will push the Implementation Committee of Parliament, and I've spoken to the chairman of the Implementation Committee of Parliament to pursue the recommendations of the Select Committee on IDPs so that they can implement that report. But if that does not work, in 4 months' time, on 5th of March, God willing, if I am fortunate to be bestowed with the leadership of Tharaka Nithi County, one of the priorities I have is to sort out the issue of displacement and the issue of inter-clan libraries in the Meru region generally, once and for all, because I think it can be achieved.
How do you think you'll do this?
There are very many ways. You see, people in the past have been fighting. When they disagree, they fight, because politicians generate mileage. And you have seen that in Tana River already, what happened recently. How do I want to achieve that? Number one, I want to encourage honest dialogue, because I don't think ordinary Kenyans have issues with each other. They are peasants. They suffer the same problems. Their children are out of school. They are sick from similar diseases, because they are waterborne diseases and malnutrition. The same way the rich people are sick of similar diseases like obesity and etc., etc. So the problem is the political class. So I want to promote a culture of cutting links with all leaders who have been responsible of inciting people against each other. Number two, we want to ensure justice is done. If somebody's land has been taken, it should be restored, period. If it is restored, there will be no problem. And I don't think that should be very difficult. So we'll work through alternative dispute resolution methods ourselves. If anything is not resolved by that means, then I believe the safest route for communities to get their rights is through a courts of law, because courts of law are impartial arbiters. Finally, I am aware that the new land laws, especially the National Land Commission Act, Section 16 has provided that 2 years from 2010, there should be a law to deal with historical injustices. So that will be a substitute of the TGRC, and we hope we can use the National Land Commission in the mandate to deal with historical injustices to solve the land and boundary problem in this area and have the IDPs compensated. And if nothing happens, we'll sue government for compensation straight away. I'm a lawyer. I'll offer those services early in the morning, free of charge. We'll get justice. But we believe if we get the political muscle, that is something we can push very easily, because other people have pushed it. In Rift Valley, the MPs have been squabbling with the PM. Right now, I'm told all IDPs have been settled. But who is talking for Tharaka Nithi? Nobody.
Before we wind up in the next 3 minutes, I would like to very quickly give you a chance to respond to this gentleman called Evans. Mr. Murage had a chance to respond to this earlier on, so we'll give you the same question. Evans says, Professor Kindiki, talking of raising funds for Tharaka Nithi County, and specifically talking about minerals, mineral resources of Tharaka Nithi, do you foresee any possibility of the county being a mineral producer and its contribution to the county economy? How can this be done?
Thank you very much. Let me address the issue of minerals directly. Tharaka Nithi has the richest deposit of iron ore in Kenya as we speak, which was discovered some years back. But the commercial exploitation of that mineral has been thwarted for many years by, again, politicians who have been excavating that mineral. It's in a place called Kithure. It's in Tharaka South, but that is a resource for the county generally and the country. Because, again, we don't want our people to believe that if something is found in your locality, it belongs to you alone. What the Constitution says is that it should benefit the local people first. That means the county first, a certain percentage, but the rest of it should also benefit the people of Kenya. So we have an iron ore, very huge deposit, which can be exploited commercially for more than 3 years. Tender has been awarded to a Chinese company. We want to commit the Chinese company to an agreement, an MOU, which we want locals to negotiate with this company to do certain things on behalf of the local people. Build schools, build a few health centers there, employ a number of local people there. And this can be done. We've tried this elsewhere. I've seen it work in Brazil, where I was a consultant for World Bank. I have seen it work elsewhere, even in this country, in Magadi. You've seen what Magadi Soda has done for the community around there. Over and above that, we will push government through the Senate for a motion for the establishment of a steel plant, a steel factory in that area, because scientists are telling us that that deposit is enough to actually necessitate the establishment of a steel factory, because iron ore is the raw material for making steel. Kenya spends 60 billion shillings annually importing steel. So this can be the solution of unemployment and the solution of the revenue deficit that we are talking about for Tharaka Nithi County and for Kenya. And all those who have been plundering that resource, take notice. The end has come. Thank you.
Gentlemen, we have to wind up this segment of Succession 2013. I thank you very much for coming up. Thank you, Mr. Murage, and thank you, Professor Kindiki, for finding time early Monday morning, a very difficult day for many people, a very difficult day for politicians and aspiring politicians who have to spend the weekend in their counties campaigning. Viewers, I have been hosting today on this job interview for the job position of Senator of Tharaka Nithi County, two gentlemen who want to be senator for that particular county, Murage Thungutha and Professor Kindiki Kithure, who spoken to you this morning. You will have another opportunity again next Monday to join me on an interview for more Kenyans who want to lead this country in the first government under the new constitution from the 4th of March in 2013. This is Succession 2013. My name is Noah Otieno. Please keep it KTN. Have a beautiful day.